Okay, thanks everybody for being here. I'm recording this. I'll probably trim out this intro bit, but the plan for tonight is I'll give a little overview of our plan once we officially start. We're going to do some IFS, getting to know our inner parts, and then we're going to do the energy work to help those parts. And because we're a little bit of a larger group tonight, it won't be so much sharing time, but you can put stuff in the chat. And if the spirit moves and it feels like we want to do some sharing, that will be an option too. Any questions before we start? I just muted all of you, so you can type it in the chat if there's something. Okay. All right. So I'm Marta, and this is bringing the woo to our manager parts. And even that title makes me laugh a little bit because I don't know, it's just our manager parts in IFS are like often the ones that tend to be more serious. They're the ones that are like studious, often fall into perfectionism, often trying to get it right. And I have no idea if this title is right or not. So it's like, whatever, we could just have a good time. So that's why I chuckle about it. And I want to just upfront say the disclaimer, I'm not a medical doctor and I'm not a licensed therapist. So if anything comes up for you that feels like it really fits in those domains, please reach out to your trusted providers. And I'm not giving you medical advice or mental health advice. And you all are capable adults and you can all take care of yourself very well, I know. And I got into the healing arts because I had massive performance anxiety as a pianist, and it led me on quite the wild journey. And looking back, that was like maybe 13 or 14 years ago that erupted out of me just in like totally took over my life for a while. And I thought, I'll just like, read some Brene Brown, read the book about learning to center and channel your focus, and then I'll get it figured out and it'll be great and I'll be back on track. And instead it's led me on this journey that's been so like, it just keeps unfolding in new ways that I really love and appreciate more and more all the time, including now doing things like energy work. But the first thing that I found that really changed my life was internal family systems, which is inner parts work. And this idea is really intuitive to people, like we know there's a voice that's like, you should be working out every day. You should be eating healthy. You should, it's like full of that kind of advice. And then there's the part of you that's like, no, I'm just going to watch Netflix all day today. And like maybe it doesn't have words. You're just on the couch, or suddenly you've eaten the whole tray of cookies. So those can be described as different parts of us with conflicting agendas. And when we can welcome every single part, get to know our parts and find out that every single part has a positive intention, that alone that is just a wonderful way to bring true self-love to yourself, and bringing that inner connection changes lives. It changed my life. So in IFS, there are 3 categories of parts and then self-energy. Self-energy is like the soul, your essence, the truth of you that is capable in any circumstance. Your soul has, in my view, has probably lived through many, many, many circumstances already, incredible challenges of any kind, and has managed to come through, and is in this lifetime with lots of wisdom and steadiness. And so no matter the level of trauma or no matter the level of challenge you've been through, your self-energy is the healing capable presence for you. And then we have 3 general categories of inner parts that take on certain roles. Managers, which are the planners, analyzers, criticizers, workers, the worker bees. We have the firefighters, which are the ones that want comfort and they don't care about the collateral damage. And I don't know if you've ever seen firefighters in action. I'm just realizing I don't have a charger. I might have to send a text message in a little bit. So funny that comes in during my firefighters. They're like, pew, pew, pew. Okay. But if you've ever seen firefighters in action, the house will be flooded with water. They will break the doors down. It is disaster, but they save the structure of the house. And that's what your inner firefighters can be like. They know the level of trauma or discomfort living in your body, and they don't care if cookies are bad for you. They don't care if drugs are bad for you. They don't care if lying on the couch is bad for you. They want that comfort, and comfort and rest is essential. That's the healthy aspect. But if you have a lot of trauma, those firefighters tend more towards addiction and destructive things. And when we get to know our firefighters, that is so wonderful, because in our culture, firefighters are blamed for everything. Like, you see somebody who's an addict and you're like, well, if they would just get their act, that's generally our Western culture approach towards firefighter activities. But when we recognize those firefighters are actually trying to soothe, actually trying to help, actually trying to bring comfort, that is, again, another way to bring compassion. And then the third category of inner parts is our exiles. And those are the ones that carry the deep wounds, often from childhood, but it doesn't have to be childhood. They are the most connected to innocence, creativity, joy, divine inspiration. But when they get burdened, they really lose that spark of their, what makes them so connected. So we are going to work with the managers tonight. In the scheme of things with IFS, we would want to work with all three categories of parts. When we can help the exiles and help them relieve their burdens, it lightens the load for all the parts. Excuse me. But tonight we're going to experiment with bringing energy work to our managers. And so I was thinking about my managers. Well, I've been thinking about them for a while with this class coming up, but today the example that came up for me, you guys might be shocked about this story. And I'm like, oh my God, am I really going to post this on YouTube? But here's the story. So I have a 10-year-old, Loki, and the neighbor kid was over playing today. And I don't know what happened, but I came in and Loki is sitting on the couch like this, and Lincoln's in the kitchen. And I was like, oh, what happened? And turns out that Loki tried to do something. Lincoln put out his arm. Loki fell over. He felt like he was pushed. And Loki said, you pushed me. And the other kid said, you're a liar. And Loki swore at him, F you, and ran out the door and slammed the door. And like, it's a little bit like, oh, what do you do with this? And a year ago, I'd be like, oh, how am I going to manage this? What do I need to do? Like, oh, what's the other mom going to think? And blah, blah. And instead, I felt a lot of calm and curiosity. And like, I mean, it's definitely not ideal, and there's definitely things to be done. But the freedom that I feel to not micromanage and not over caretake and not to make sure that the neighbors aren't mad at me and make sure all the relationships are okay. It's like, okay, well, I don't know what's going to happen, but that is a much freer response than micromanaging. And I don't know if I've handled it right. We had a little peace circle. There was a lot of feelings. They're not talking to each other, but I don't know. There's not a happy ending at this point. The only happy ending is that my parts aren't like, I don't have to control this. So that's the happy ending on my side. You all could give me your parenting advice later. And I only have one kid. So my kid practices this with neighbor kids and friends, we don't have siblings to practice this with. So I know some of you are excellent parents. You can tell me all the things to do. Okay. So what we're going to do now is just a little guided exploration to get to know your manager parts. And before we do that, do you have any questions that you would like to ask? How is this all landing? Is it making sense? Yeah, go ahead, Patricia.
Hi, everybody. I'm Patricia. So I've had experience with IFS, being a client mainly, and then practicing with another friend. And my question is, I've always been a little bit confused. What's the difference between the managers and the firefighters? Because for me, I thought it was the same thing, the reactive part, but it's a little bit different. The firefighters is really tries to rescue you, right? I think. And the managers are the ones that are uptight and shooting you, or what? Could you clarify a little bit what's the difference so I can recognize them?
Yeah, well, both firefighters and managers are protectors, and you're exactly right, Patricia, that they are responding and reacting to the distress that comes from deeper in, usually the exiles. And so the managers, both parts could be rescuing. Both parts are trying to avoid feeling the absolute distress that an exile part has. The firefighters do it through things that feel good or things that numb, and the managers do it generally by thinking they can control a situation. So they're looking backwards to the past, like what happened? How do we make sure that never happens again? And thinking ahead to the future, how am I going to prevent that from happening ever again? Um, how does that answer? Does that feel like it answers your question? I can't see you now.
Is it more that it can be a proactive protection, right?
Yeah.
The manager.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So they're future thinking. The managers don't. So the firefighters tend to live more in the present. And another quick example about that is that my favorite firefighter method is eating chocolate. And if I start to get distressed, I'll eat cookies. And it will happen that I'll be like, I need a cookie. I need a cookie. Where's the cookies? And then the way it happens for me, thanks, Angelica, I see you raising your hand. The way it happens for me is like, there's this feeling of I can't get enough. And the pattern that happens for me is that before I'm aware of distress in my system or body, um, I will want cookies for several days or a week. And then after several days of that, then I will go, then the distress will come up to the surface and I'll be like, oh, this is why I've been trying to like press it down. So like before I have awareness of the bad feelings or the challenging feelings, the firefighters are on it. They know. And so they go to their comfort measures before we're cognitively aware. The managers, I mean, they can be doing that too. You know, they're like, you maybe have this like a high sensing anxiety and you're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What do I need to do to address this? And that's more of a manager kind of thing of like, do I need to apologize to somebody? Do I need to send a better email? Did I do something wrong? And that's like more of a manager strategy for addressing the bad feelings. But the managers are thinking to the future. How do we prevent any of that from happening? Firefighters are like, right now, we're smushing it. How's that sound for an answer?
I got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? I see the chat here. Also big on the chocolate. Thanks, Steffi. Fellow cookie and chocolate consumer. Thanks, Anna. Awesome. Okay. So why don't we, yeah, and if at any point you want to put in the chat, like, how your managers show up or your firefighters or anything that relates, I love that. I think that's really helpful for like just sharing and normalizing what we all do to cope with being human in this wild world. All right, so let's do a very short guided meditation to get to know and explore our manager parts. So however you want to be comfortable. And I'm big on consent. And so there is no right way to do this. Eyes open, eyes closed, lying down, falling asleep, whatever you want, standing, walking around, anything that calls to you is the perfect way to do it. And so first, just noticing your breath, inviting awareness of your breath. We're not here to fix or change anything at this moment. We are here at this moment to bring awareness. So just noticing your breath, noticing your body. And sometimes what happens when we start this kind of guided exploration is that parts are like, notice me, notice me, notice me. And so like you may notice things jumping to your attention. It could be body discomfort. It could be thoughts running through your head. It could be distraction. So whatever it is that's coming up for you is perfect to notice. So even if it's like, oh, I'm so bored and this is terrible, I hate this, like that's just something to notice. Or fear or discomfort, yeah, anything. So just seeing what it's like to notice without judging, without reacting, what is present in you at this moment. And seeing if there are places in your body that are speaking up with aches or pains or feelings. Just kind of tuning into the body level. What's in your body? How does your body talk to you? And if it's okay, if this feels okay to you, imagine yourself a little bigger than your body. So whether that's your energy field or your self energy or your soul, or just using the power of your imagination, letting yourself expand, like your vision widening a little bigger than your body, allowing yourself to take up a little bit more room. Sometimes this allows a little bit of softening. And remembering this, like sometimes this is a heady thing, but see where this lands. You are actually bigger than any one part or any experience you've had. You are bigger than any feeling that's showing up right now. And allowing anything that's coming up really show up just as it wants. And now we want to invite your manager parts to come into your awareness and your attention. So the manager parts are the ones who work hard, who do the planning, who look back at the things you've done, who criticize, who analyze, maybe your inner critic. Sometimes the managers use a lot of words, so there might be phrases that go through your head, like, oh, I really should be da 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 da, or I wish I were da 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 da. Just seeing if there's one, if there's a group of them. Seeing what wants your attention today. And these parts, we want them to come up just as they are. So there's no right way for them to show up. So we can just invite them to be exactly as they are. I know when I first started working with my managers, there was just so much urgency, like, hurry up, get to the good stuff. Come on, come on, come on. See what your managers are like. Other people's managers might be slow and like, whoa, this is too much. I don't know about this. See, Anna says, mine says I want to go first. Yeah. Love that. Welcome to that manager. Yeah, and as these parts come up, just see if there's enough space in you to welcome with curiosity, with openness, with connection. And then as they come in, you could start asking questions, and you could ask something like, what do you want me to know? Or what role do you play in my system inside of me? Or when you do whatever it is you do, manager, what are you actually trying to help me do? What's your truest intention? What's your deepest intention? My managers are chiming in with saying things like, oh, we should have said, like, this is a sacred space before we started. And a running criticism of like a little mild criticism. Oh, we could next time. Let's think of. Yeah. And so if it feels appropriate, just hearing what their intentions are and knowing, inviting in the possibility that actually every part has a positive intention. Even the ones that don't feel good, that don't have good results, all of them are trying to help you in some way. Just see how that feels in your body and your head, energy. And then you can ask your managers if any of them would like help tonight and if any of them would like to try some energy work tonight. Mm. And as I said, I'm big on consent. So if your managers are like, hell no, like we are going to respect that. There's no pressuring, there's no obligation. These parts know important things about your inner world. We want to respect the pace that they want to go at. And when you feel ready, you can bring yourself back to our space, back to connection. And I love your comments. And if anybody else wants to chime in with in the chat, or if you want to share verbally anything that your managers that you heard or noticed or connected with your managers, you're welcome to do that. What was it like for you to listen inside in this way? And also, just so you know, there's never any obligation. So if it doesn't feel like a space of wanting to talk, like you don't have to do anything to caretake me. You don't have to push anything. So it's really only if there's something that you're like, yeah, that would feel good to share that. I'll say I noticed a little bit at some point, some anxiety coming in. And then there were different points when it was like, oh, yeah, like remembering that every part has positive intention. It's like, oh, so settling. And I'm imagining that happened for at least some of you in the group too. And I appreciate what you said. Mine said I identify the cracks, the smallest cracks, and address it with every strategy I've got. Yes, like thank goodness to these managers. They are working so hard to address things that are uncomfortable. And when we have managers like that, it's so amazing because they really lead the way towards creativity, finding the solutions that are going to be creative and bring more life and bring more. And I know for you, Anna, like you've done so much amazing energy work. So it's brought like what your managers have brought you in that way. Okay, so we'll move on to the energy portion, unless anybody wanted to say something. Angelica, yeah.
I was gonna type it, but it's better to say it.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have many manager parts. I feel like I've gotten really good, and whenever I feel like, because I'm my own boss, like I don't have a boss, and then I have to like I'm always doing stuff for other people and not enough for myself. So I think I need to call my managers back to me. I think I've put them. I told them to go on vacation or something. And I think I need to call them back because I remember at one point I just don't like to be micromanaged. I don't like to be managed. And but I do need someone to kind of tell me what to do. So not yeah, I don't want to fall behind on my own business and my administrative tasks and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm like looking for my managers and I'm like, yeah, they're there. I think that they do want energy work.
Yeah,
And I don't know how
yeah.
accurate that is, but that's how kind of
I
like I'm
love
feeling.
that.
I think
Yeah.
I might have more fire, the fire people.
Yeah. I mean, that's beautiful self-awareness. And just, I feel like once we start seeing it in this way, that starts shifting things because you're like, oh, this is what's going on inside of me. The managers have gone on vacation somewhere and they haven't come back. So, you know, and that with that awareness, you know, there's usually some kind of like, oh, a feeling of, I wish there were more managers here. So just that wish starts to the wheels turning in some way for you. You know, maybe you just be curious to watch that and see if some manager energy shows up for you. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And let's see, Steffi, you said, some of my managers feel very large, like out of proportion for some of my current challenges. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because most of us learn these strategies when we're children, and we learn them from our parents, and we learn them from the culture. And so then, like, you know, things like the inner critic, like the inner critic for many of us is mean, and it's not appropriate for whatever like infraction or mistake that we make, you know, and we're like beating ourselves up for days or using horrible language towards ourselves or whatever, you know. So yeah, that I think that's really, really common. And that's one of the things, I don't know how much we'll get to today, but that's one of the things I'm very curious about, because I do think that there are things like black magic and spells and curses that amplify the unhealthy aspect of our managers so that they are out of proportion. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get to that. Okay. I know that's so woo-woo. I feel so weird talking to people about black magic, but it's been helping me so much. So okay. All right. So with the energy work, the method that we're going to use is based upon this idea that we can use muscle testing and pendulum testing to find imbalances in the body and in our energy field and in our energy field, body, soul lines, ancestrally. And for those of you who are new to this idea, I think most of you probably are somewhat familiar, but muscle testing is the idea that your body gets slightly stronger when something's true or positive, your body gets slightly weaker when it's negative. So I just use my fingers like this. So this is a yes and slides off for no, or I'm working on this one. This is a yes. It feels like stuck and gets slidey with no. But when I'm in a group, I get like just slightly nervous and my fingers get a little sticky. So I use the pendulum, and this is more accurate for me. And so the idea with this is that like the signals on a subtle level are sending the signals to my hand for what bypassing my conscious brain. So this is a yes, and this is a no. That's a straight line. Okay. And when we go into the energy work, we're going to be working as a group together. And so if at any point you don't want the energy work, you just in your mind say, I withdraw, or not for me, or no, and then you won't be included in the group field. So everything's by your consent. And so, I mean, kind of by showing up, I'm assuming you have consent to join this or try it, but always, like, nothing's going to happen without your permission. And so I will be tuning into the group field. And so I'll just ask right now, do I have permission to test for the whole group here? Yeah, for whoever consents, yes. And for people who watch later, yes. And let's see, just double checking. My name is Marta. Yes. My name is Freddie. No. Okay. So I've got a good yes and no going on. And okay. Any questions about that before we dive into the energy work portion? Thanks, Anna. Okay. All right. So is it appropriate for us? Let's see. Am I in the group field that we're helping my manager parts too? Yes. Is it appropriate to be helping everybody's manager parts who are here who want that help? Yes. And for people who watch the replay? Yes. And I wrote a list of possible things that we could address for our group here. Is anything on this list what we want to address for our managers right now? No. Okay, so is there something in the app that would be helpful? Yes. Should I go into Healing Remembered for that? Yes. Okay, so I have several apps that I use, and it's just a way to like have some charts. It's some nice structure to figure out different things to address. And so for our group, should I go into the system? Should we go into mental and emotional? Yes. And can I do is it appropriate for me to do the easy button at this time? Yes. Okay. So this easy button is like a magic button that tunes into the quantum realm, and it's like another tool for discernment. And I don't know exactly how it works, but it's like spot on 95% of the time for me and for groups I work with. So we'll see what comes up right now. Okay, so I command that this discernment is laser focused for the highest and best and most efficient for our group right now. Most powerful. Okay, so the first thing that comes up is offended. Is that something? Yes. Okay, so is that what we need to know for our group right now? Yes. And so do all of our manager parts have offended energy? Yes. Okay, so you can think to yourself about what that might be. And then I will do a little, yeah, and then if any of you have intuitions come through or something, you can put it in the chat at any time. And so this offended, is there something more? Is there an ancestral level of feeling offended? Yes. Are we offended by, let's see, this might be projection on my part. Is it by having to be human? Yes, there's some of that. Is it like going back to the beginning of our human lines? Yes. Okay. So I don't know. This is really strong in me. You can see if it relates to you, but I have parts of me that are like, oh my God, why did I sign up for this again? Haven't I been through this enough? So is that part of what we're getting at with offended? Yes. Okay. Okay. And Anna, you say your offended part is saying, how dare you think you can do it differently than I already do? Do you want to say anything more about that?
Sure. I don't know, maybe that sentence didn't totally make sense, but it's like this part of me is saying, like, I got this, I'm handling it, I have all these strategies, I'm putting 110% into fixing this problem. How dare you come at me and think you can do it better or different,
Yes.
right? It's like, I'm already so good at this, you don't know what you're talking about. You know, I'm an
Yes.
expert manager here, just so you know.
Yes. Yes. I
That's
love
kind of
that
what's
so
coming
much.
through for me. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And so is that, you can answer this or asking the pendulum, is that like offended by the suggestion that we might bring energy work to help this part? Is it feeling offended by that? Yeah, I get a yes. Do you feel offended by, does this part of you, Anna, feel offended by this possibility right now? Yeah. Yeah. And that is like, my feelings are not hurt. I don't take any of that personally. You know, it makes sense that like, yeah. And so just see like, what is it in you, all of you, that relates to this offended energy? Is it something like what Anna's talking about? Is it what, you know, like what I'm talking about? My parts are offended that I chose to be human yet again. And is there something else that for you, and do we need to know any other flavors of this offended energy right now in order to clear it? Yes, we do need to know something else. Is there an ancestral line of it? Yes. And is there a soul line of it? Yes. And is there something more that we need to know than that? No. Okay. So we just needed to know there's, yeah, a fear of change. Yeah. Right. Like if we bring in this energy work, will this destabilize the balance that we've got going on? And then will it bring change that's out of control? That's a reasonable manager concern for sure. Yeah. Anybody else want to chime in with something before we clear this energy? Fear of the unknown. Yeah.
I had something like I feel very offended. Like the managers that I described as really large are very large because they were so offended at the onset of the things that made them want to blow up. They're like, really? You did this to me? Like now I have to get really large and fix it. So yeah, I think a little different from what Anna was describing, but I think the offense was the initial problem.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So like going back, so whatever is coming up for you is usually the right thing. So like if you're like having a memory that you're like, I don't know why I'm thinking about this, that's probably the thing you need to know about. Okay. So anything else that we need to know for the group before we clear this offended energy? No. Okay. All right. So however you want to receive this, I command now that all offended energies are dissolved through all of time and space for everybody's manager parts and any other parts of them that are willing to receive it, all by the consent of their inner world, all for their highest and best. This is on the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic levels. This is in all realities where we exist through all of time and space, and anybody or anything related to this offended energy. So if somebody provoked you, caused it, learned it from them, ancestors and soul lines, any of those people are also healed to their highest and best. And so it is. Did we clear the offended energy for the group? Yes. Is there more to do with offended energy at this time for the group? A little bit. There's something else that we need to know. Is there another layer that needs specific addressing? Yes. I wonder what that is. Anybody have any insights about what this other layer of offended energy might be? Let's see, do we need to know how far back this goes ancestrally? Is it the pain the offended energy was covering for? Is that what we're going to address? Yes. Okay, so do we need to go to the next layer then? Is that the next step, just going to the next, whatever's the next layer? Or do we need to do something specifically for the, like, okay, yeah, you're right, going to the next layer. So can we just address, is it just hurt feelings in general? Is there something more specific we need to know than that? Yes. Should we go through the app again? Yes. Okay. Okay. For the group, is it in the system? Is it in mental, emotional? Can we do this? Yes. Okay. I command that this quantum healing is laser focused and efficient for the whole group. Concluding. Well, that's very interesting. Concluding is the process of making a decision or forming an opinion after considering the available information. It can evoke feelings of certainty or relief, but can also lead to anxiety if the decision feels unclear or ungrounded. Is concluding really the thing that we need to address for the group at this time? Well, concluding is definitely a manager trait. Like the managers are going to be making analysis and decisions all the time. Like, here's the story. This is the conclusion I come to. And, sometimes they're right and sometimes not. So what would it be like? Are we trying to relieve our managers of the burden of having to do this concluding work? Yes. And what else do we need to know about concluding? Like this burden of having to make sense of the world, make sense of the stories in our lives, trying to understand. Yes. Okay, is that all landing with all of you? The fear of making wrong decisions. Yes. Yes, that's part of, yes. Okay. So there's fear included in here. And I just feel like a burdened aspect of like, when we sometimes feel our managers and they feel so big, but sometimes we get to them and they're like, I'm the one who's supposed to understand all of these things. Like this, what? This is crazy. How am I supposed to understand all of this world? So is that part of it? Yes. Like overwhelm. Yes. Okay. Any other flavors coming up for any of you with this concluding energy? Okay. All right. So is there anything else we need to know about concluding before releasing it for the group? No. Okay. However you would like to receive this. I command that all of concluding energy and whatever that means for each person here, the unhealthy aspects, the non-beneficial aspects of concluding are dissolved, released, healed, uncreated through all of time and space for everybody here on all levels, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and energetic. Past, present, future, parallel, in all dimensions where we exist, and anybody or anything related to this concluding energy is also healed and blessed to their highest and best. And so we can also just add in here some other emotions like fear, overwhelm, despair, any other feelings that are attached to this concluding energy are also healed, released. With the amazing speed of the quantum realm where all things are possible. Thank you, and so it is. And the amazing help of all of our helpers and our higher selves and angels and guides. Okay. Exhausted. Yes. Yes, definitely. Okay, good. There's like a pit in my stomach that came up with this, and I don't know, does that need some more attention for the group? Yes, like Something about is it this fear of getting it wrong? Yes. Is it like the inner critic? Yes. Can we help the inner critic in some way? Can we get our inner critics to, do we want to get them to, would it be worthwhile to work with our inner critics? Yes. Do we want to get them to a 10 out of 10? No. Do we want to get it down to the criticism energy down to a 0? Yes. Or transform it. We want to transform it. Yes. We want to transform criticism into discernment. Yes. Transform criticism into easy discernment. Yes. Transform criticism into the highest connection to the highest possible discernment. Yes. Okay. Do we need to know anything more about that? No. Okay. Anything ancestral with that? No. Anything with past life, other lives with that? Yes. Do we need to include our soul lines in this? Yes. Do we need to know anything else? Okay. How about anything about our inner child at this moment? No. Okay. All right. So we're just going to roll with this one so we'll just roll with this one. So we are asking and commanding for everybody's highest and best to transform criticism, evolve criticism in each person's highest and best way into discernment, into connection with their highest possible, their highest selves, their soul, their highest guides, highest love, light, truth, and wholeness. And so just see how criticism in you wants to evolve, and releasing and dissolving any non-beneficial aspects, freeing that. There's like some binds or shackles. There's like a shackle. There's a shackle of some kind to this criticism. Yes. So do we need to know, are there ties, also cords? There's cords. Do we need to know how many of these things there are? Like hundreds, probably. Are there thousands? Yes. And do we really need to know the number? No. So we've got shackles, cording, tethers, bindings. Anything else people want to jump in with here? Okay, any of those things in that category, named and unnamed, we are dissolving all the shackles, all the cording, all the bindings, all the tethers through all of time and space in all realms. It feels very dimensional to me. So in all realities where we exist, star level, planetary level. Yeah, if anybody wants to chime in, and I know we've got some other energy healers in here, so if you want to chime in with anything about these bindings, because it's feeling very, very big to me right now. So we are commanding that these are all dissolving all the way down to 0 through past, present, future, parallel, dimensional, and on all levels, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Thank you, Anna. All same and similar frequencies, named and unnamed, for our highest and best, so that we are releasing our inner critics. We are releasing all criticism so it is able to transform. Yes. Okay. Releasing, unbinding that criticism, that inner critic. Just seeing how this feels for your own inner critic. I'm feeling like some flowers want to come in some way, like there's some growth that wants to happen. So see what you want to nurture, what wants to be in its place. And I'm just seeing the inner critic, like kind of, it's like old plaster that's ready to dissolve. It's like a Russian doll that we're just inviting that to dissolve. That's not the real voice. That's not the true voice. And so that, however that shows up for you, can just dissolve now through all of time and space. Yeah, and there's something about pyramid protection. Anna and I were talking about that the other day. So there's like pyramid protection. So your inner critic doesn't have to do that job for you anymore. The inner critic usually is doing that job to protect in some way. And it's inviting your critic to know, we want that part of you, the essence of it, to stay, because it has a positive intention, but if it's ready to transform, there are other protections in place, so it doesn't have to work so hard. It could be pyramids, it could be something else for you. What is it for you? Your angels, your guides. Yeah, so inviting, is it pyramid frequencies for everybody? Is that appropriate for the whole group? Yes. So inviting that to install. Okay, so can we download and install the highest? Okay. We are commanding to download and install the highest morphogenetic fields of the highest level, love, light, truth, and wholeness pyramid frequencies for everybody at this time. in all realities where they exist. And any frequencies that are the same or similar, known and unknown, whatever name they are called by, the highest protection, the highest light, the highest love, highest power. Okay, so just taking a little check-in. How are you all feeling? I told you this was going to get woo-woo. Okay, we're going to do like 5 more minutes. Is there more we can do for people's managers? Yes. Let's see. Is there something coming through about what is there still more here at this diaphragm level? Is there like an entity attached to the diaphragm? Yes. Okay. So is that, do we need to know what entities are attached for people? No. So commanding that all entities that are non-beneficial, that are like feeding off of fear, yes. Feeding off of anxiety, yes. Okay. Dissolving, okay. Do we need to know more about these entities in some way? No. Okay, is this for everybody in the group here? Anybody who has it? Yes. And is there also something ancestral? Yes. Do we need to know more about that? No. Anything dimensional that we need to know? Do we need to know what it is dimensionally? So this is something that exists dimensionally. Okay, is there more information we need to get about it? No. Okay, are we ready to clear these entities? Yes. Okay, so we are, let's see. Do these entities want to have help in evolving? Yes. Okay, so do they have the appropriate helpers available for that? Yes. Do we need to know anything else? No. Okay. All right, so however you would like to receive this, we are commanding that these entities are disentangling, disengaging from your body. I'm feeling it in the diaphragm and solar plexus, but wherever it is appropriate for you, disentangling, disengaging, positively polarizing, separating from your body. And these entities are commanded that if they are ready to evolve, that there are helpers ready to help them evolve to the next level. They can find the light, they can find source, they can find their own inner light. And that they are no longer a match for you. They can no longer attach to you in any way. Disentangling through all of time and space in all dimensions where we exist. We're disentangling this ancestrally, however far back this goes in the ancestral realm. We can wrap these entities in the highest unconditional love. Calling in unconditional love for each person here and all the entities here. We all have the chance to evolve and grow. Anybody or anything unknown, unnamed that is a similar match. Anything else that needs this attention is receiving this attention and care now. Time and space. Is there more we need to do to help this? Will it and commanding that it continues all the way to complete disentanglement for however long that takes for you. Okay. Is there anything more we need to do with that? No. Okay. Okay, so let's just have a little check-in and we're going to bring our energy clearing portion to a close here. Let's ask that we all evolve in the highest and best way, that we can fill any space that was cleared with the highest love, light, truth, and wholeness of 100% love, light, truth, and wholeness. We can be open to our guides, angels, source, God, 100% love, light, truth, and wholeness. Fill that space. So if anybody would like to share anything that's going on for them, you're welcome to do that. There's always no pressure. Oh, thank you, Anna. Anna says, I see my manager decided to go lay down on a hammock and let the pyramid do the protecting. Beautiful. Yeah, so thank you for that reminder. We can all just check in and see if our managers want to evolve in some way or how this process was for them. Steffi says, I had a visual of myself stepping through an entangled mesh of cords and coming out the other side. Yeah, yeah. There was a lot with that cording, wasn't there? Whew. Anna, if you're, I don't know if you're talking out loud. No, you're talking to yourself. Yeah.
I
Okay,
do both.
well-
I do both of those. I talk to myself all the time.
Yeah,
I was just saying
yeah.
it's 5:55, but that's in my time. I don't know where everybody else is. So
Yeah.
yay.
Yay. Thank you, angels. Well, I wanted to just say a few words about Revitalize, which is the 6-week program that's coming up. And so this is like a taster of what's going to be going on in that group session. So it's 6 weeks. And each week we're going to be working with one aspect, one category on the IFS framework. So self-energy, managers, firefighters, exiles, and the 5th week is about our purpose, how all of our parts fit together for our purpose and bringing energy work to help our purpose in life. And then last week for integration. And this, yeah, it's limited to 6 people. There are 2 spaces available starting next Tuesday. It's Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Central Time. And yeah, that's the information for that. I have so many ideas going though, so I'm imagining that I'm going to have a variety of group programs going. This is a 6-week container with 6 people, but I'm expecting to do some shorter nuggets here and there too with experiments. So if you have requests of things you would like help with or themes to be addressed, I would love to know those. And then I would love to offer all of you a 2-for-1 deal right now. So because you came to this and stayed to the end, if you want to sign up for a session, you can have 2 sessions for the price of 1. So I will send you, I was trying to work on my scheduling thing to make a coupon to make that available. So I will work on that and get that to you in an email. And I'll ask you to sign up for that. I'll think of a deadline of when you would purchase that coupon by. So yeah, thoughts, reflections, questions, criticisms couched in nice language. Thanks, Steffi. Yeah, thanks, David. Well, I sure enjoy spending time with all of you. I appreciated your energy. Angelica, you feel much lighter. Yeah, it's cool to be in a group like this because stuff comes through and it's like, wow, I don't know what, I mean, pyramids coming through and all these chords and stuff. It's really fun to just like, you're like, what's gonna happen? Thanks, Patricia. Yeah. Good to see all your faces. Okay, are you guys just feeling quiet? Are you feeling like there's no need to say anything out loud? I don't know. You just like, maybe you're so chill that you don't need to talk about anything. There's no right answer. So, whatever. Yeah, feeling like I know what to do next. That's awesome, David. Love that. Yeah, and like we want our managers to feel capable and skilled. And so when we bring some of this relief to them, they are freed up to do their job. Like we need to have manager parts in us because they are the ones that help us do the stuff. And we need to have that functioning in this particular world that we live in. And so I just find doing the energy work frees them so that they're less afraid of criticism and like, thanks, Jillian. Oh, thanks, Tanika. Yeah. I like for what I have for so long hated posting in the IFS groups because I'm always like, these like fancy therapists, and I'm not a therapist, and making myself visible. And like something has really shifted. I'm like, I don't care, whatever. So like I'm posting on occasion in the IFS groups, and like that is an example of freed up manager energy that is like, I don't care what the criticisms are, or knowing I can handle the criticisms if they come.
My manager feels less intense.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. Okay. Well, I'm proud of us for ending on time. Anybody want to stick around for anything else? You and your managers have permission to leave when you're ready to leave. Thank you for being here. I'll send out a replay. I'll talk to you all soon. Thank you, Anna.
Thanks, Marta.
Thank you, Dory. Love having you here.
My managers are gonna go have a glass of wine.
Right on. That's kind of like managers partnering with firefighters, perhaps.
Like, forget the MasterCard bill.
Yes, that's right. Put
Okay,
it out.
thank you.
Yeah. All right. Bye, Dory.
All right,
Have a good night.
you
How are
too.
you doing, Earl? How are you doing, Earl? If you want to unmute and say anything, you're welcome to.
Yeah, my managers in the mood that they just don't care. They just